Hello everyone and welcome back to Run It Up. A little something different for you guys today. We are going back in time, taking the old time machine, doing the time warp, that's right. And I thought I would share with you guys 5 of the biggest pots that I've ever played lifetime on online poker. These aren't necessarily the 5 biggest pots that I've played, but they're 5 pots that I found memorable, that I've mentioned before to you guys casually, but we've actually seen the hands and went through like how exactly they happen and all of that. So I thought that would be kind of fun, a little something different here for our Friday video. So that being said, let's hop right in there. So blinds, this game, okay, let's talk about this game right off the bat. So it's December 2006. I am 19 years old, 7 years ago, right? So I'm 19 years old. This was right after I had just recovered from being sick the second time, right? I have ulcerative colitis. I was really sick when I was 18, and I got sick again when I was 19. And the second time I got sick, they knew what it was at least, so it wasn't as bad. But I hadn't recovered really until like the very end of November. And what better way to celebrate being healthy than playing some 200, 400, no limit Texas Hold'em? Yes, that's right. So I actually remember taking either Patrick Antonius's or Ivy's seat at the table. And I bought in for 10K and ran it up to what you're seeing right here in front of you now, about 25K or so. I don't really remember why I was playing this game. The game looked pretty good. I remember that much, but I don't remember. I remember the spiked guy. I think he was a short stacker. He played pretty often. Don't recognize the other two guys, son-in-law or my Renovatio. You know, back in the days, names didn't really mean anything. Could be anybody. It was very much like the Wild West when it came to like, you know, no one had any kind of like integrity in terms of like it wasn't even like a bad thing. It was just no integrity when it came to like your name was who you are on the site. You know what I mean? Whereas these days, multi-accounting is really, really frowned upon. So the only player that I know is the player to my right, SB Rugby, the legendary Brian Townsend. So yeah, that's about it. And I don't believe anybody knew me. So let's see what happened in this little hand. So it folds to us on the button. I haven't reviewed these hands. I picked them out, obviously, but I haven't reviewed them, so I don't exactly know what happens. So folds to us here on the button. Obviously, we're going to be raising. It would be quite the hand if I just folded. And I was like, thanks for watching. Yeah, so you're raising the button. I think, 1,200 seems like a lot, but 2006 poker is obviously very different than these days. So I actually think that at this point in my poker career, I had pretty much no success besides in cash games. Like, I don't believe I had any tournament success at this point. For reference sake, the Heartland Poker Tour final table was from. It's a very good question. Let's find that out. The Heartland Poker Tour final table, I believe, is from 2000 and. Well, the Mike Matisow video, I think, is before this. Yeah, the Mike Matisow video is 2006. So I'd been playing high-stakes cash for a little bit before this, but I hadn't actually played... the Heartland Poker Table is actually in 2007 is the Heartland Poker Tour final table. So I hadn't made any live final tables yet. I had no tournament success, really. So I was just playing 200, 400 like any other 19-year-old kid, How can you say no? So, okay, back to the hand. I raised here 1,200, got a call out of the small blind, and the big blind folds. Off to the flop. Pretty good flop for the ace and the 10 and the 8 of spades there. The old Jack 9-10 board. So we flopped a open-ended straight flush draw. That seemed pretty good to me at the time. Our opponent checks. I am fine with betting here, obviously. I think betting is fine. 1,600 seems okay. And then our opponent check raise is huge. Now, I don't remember this opponent, but I would guess that he was probably not a top professional because I feel like he was the guy. I've in my mind remembered him as being like the reason I played the game to begin with, that I thought he was not great, but I could be wrong about that at this point. But so in 2013, I would just laugh and fold, of course. But back in 2006, my thought process was so undeveloped that I'm pretty sure I was like, well, I got an open-ended straight flush draw. How bad could it be? Which you guys might think is very similar to how I think now, but it's a little bit better now. So I mean, if you look at all the options here, like I think folding is the best. He check potted it, like I think folding is probably best. As much as it's brutally hard to fold the ace high. If ace high and an open-ended straight flush draw, but I mean the hands he check raises with here, unless he's like super wild and wacky, they're gonna be so good, right? He's gonna have so often he's gonna have like hands that crush us, and when he really has us crushed, oh, we're such bad shape. So if you look at the options of like folding, that seems like probably the best option. And then calling seems like the second best option. Raising all in seems like the worst option. But guess which one of these I did. I do remember this hand pretty well, obviously. I'm all in. All right. And I'll never forget it. This guy calls. So it turned out that there is almost exactly $50K in the pot, $50,378 in the pot, and I'll never forget all of these stacks, just like they're laid out right now, merging into two scary 25K chips and then some little chips, just like that, just two little 25K chips just sitting there. I didn't know he had the hand. I thought he had King Jack. Wow, the more you know. I guess it doesn't make a difference, practically speaking, whether he has this or King Jack. It really makes not much of a difference. But yeah, we're in pretty bad shape here. We're in pretty bad shape. We're going to need an ace or the 7 of spades, because the queen of spades is no good because he has the king of spades. That's pretty bad. Or any 7 obviously would do it, but yeah, that's not a good that's not a good place to be in, needing an ace or a 7 for 50K. And my bankroll at this point was certainly no higher than $100,000. I hadn't played a lot because I was sick, and then I was sick also the year before for a couple months, and I actually think I was still in school at this point as well, although not for much longer. This is like probably about a month or so before I leave school. And spoiler alert, in case you didn't know that I didn't finish school. But yeah, so this was a lot of money to me. And I needed to hit a 7 or an ace, and so close, but so far. And we say, see you later, $50,000 over to our opponent. $3 goes to the rake. So that was the hand. I distinctly remember. I've now played poker for 10 years. This is 7 years later. I played poker for 10 years, and I can distinctly remember only 2 times that I was unable to sleep because of poker, and this was one of them. This was one of the times. I felt so bad. The hilarious thing is I actually reloaded. I was so tilted that I reloaded and bought in for another 8K and then lost that. But yeah, this was by far the biggest pot that I had ever played. It was the biggest pot that I played for years. And I actually think that looking back, obviously I played the hand pretty poorly, but it was something that I'm actually really happy that happened to me, just because coming up to resistance at this point in my career was great, because it kind of forced me to like toughen up, gather the resolve and the determination to get back on this stage. Like prior to this hand, I felt like I was playing pretty well, and I felt like I deserved, not deserved, but I felt like I belonged to be there. Like I wasn't afraid to raise $1,000 or whatever it was. Even like the open sizes weren't scary. The re-raises sizes weren't scary. I was able to focus on making good decisions and ignore the fact that we were playing for so much money. And I felt like that was that confidence, that I felt that was true, that the statement of that I was comfortable at that high stakes game and I could play despite that it was for such high money. Having that confidence, even though that was all I took away from this pretty much at that point, having that confidence propelled me to want to get back to the stage and I felt like I could beat this limit, and I wanted to get back there. So given that a month later I left school to pursue poker full time, this might have been a bump in the road, but it was only a bump in the road. It wasn't a complete derail. So definitely a fun hand, one I look back on quite fondly, actually, even though it was terrible. I got good memories for this hand. So hopefully that guy bought himself a nice BMW or something with his money that he won off me that night. Off to the next hand. That's right, the favorite hand. You can just hashtag origins this hand. That's right. So the old 3-5 of spades, my absolute favorite hand, folds to us. Oh, sorry, it doesn't fold to us. Folds to our opponent in the cutoff, who raises. Pretty happy with either raising or calling, but calling seems fine, and call we do. World Series main event final tableist Raptor re-raises in the small blind. And British, obviously, if you guys know anything about me, we don't fold getting prices like this. This is too good of a deal for this guy over here. Let's see a flop dealer. Oh, what a little flop that is. Huh? And Raptor bets 4,200, folds to us. What do we do, kids? That's right. We're all in. Huh? Yep, that's what we do. And our opponent calls. That's right. Pocket queens, no good. He's going to need a 10 or a queen or some diamonds. But nope, we did it. And this was why 3-5 of spades became my favorite hand. This was the biggest pot that I ever won up till this point. This is July of 2008. Actually, I was playing a ton of high stakes in July of 2008. I don't particularly remember the summer. Like, I don't remember why I was playing so high stakes, but this was near the peak of my bankroll at that point in my career. I had several $100,000 at this point. I was, and all of it was in play, by the way. I had like $0 in non-poker site money, but I had tons of money on poker sites. And went to war with anybody all the time. Didn't matter. High stakes. I played in those games. This was the summer of... There was a guy on PokerStars who played a lot of high stakes, cash. Everyone wanted to play with him. I forget his name. Turned out that he was some sort of... He had some sort of like fraud thing going on, but I remember everyone was trying to play with him that summer, and I played in those games as well. Those were like 200, 400, and whatever. Even though I look back and think I was way below the skill curve, I didn't let things like that stop me. How are you going to catch up on the skill curve unless you start at the bottom of the skill curve? Am I right, people? Got to start somewhere. So this was just another one of those days where I remember we had rented a house here in Vegas during the World Series that summer, and I was staying actually this summer with like 12 or 13 people. We rented out like a 9-bedroom place, which was a terrible idea, by the way. If you ever wanted to live in a torturous environment, I recommend living with 12, 19, no, not 19, but 12, 21-year-old poker pros who have a lot of money and not enough respect for each other. We had maids come 3 times a week, and there were still flies in the kitchen like every other day. It was terrible. I was towards the high end of cleanliness. I'm just gonna say it wasn't really me, but I didn't contribute too much to cleaning it. But I didn't contribute too much to the disaster. But I had this was the summer where I had some success live, although I don't remember what exactly. Let's take a look here. What my exact results were this summer. So this was July of 2008. So July in 2008, this was a pretty bricky summer for me. I had just these caches. So I had like not that much in caches. So still pretty much only a tournament or a cash guy at this point. Still hadn't really had too much success with live tournaments. Had some success with online tournaments at this point, but yeah, just mostly been playing cash at this point in my life. Let's go to the next hand. Nice little 43K pickup there. Pocket queens, that's pretty nice. This is actually just like 2 hours after the last session. I don't believe that I played through this entire time. I probably didn't. I actually didn't check. But even though Raptor is in the same spot and these two are both in the same spot, it's the same table. I don't believe I played through the whole time, but I might have, and I might have lost it to these two guys. So it's very possible that I lost that 5-3 suited money back. It happens. What can you do? Money doesn't stick, money goes. It's a river. Whatever, J. Carver. That's right. That's what I said. So Ansky, that's right, our friend and wizard Ansky over there, raises under the gun, and it folds to us in the small blind, and I'm pretty sure, let's be real, we got to raise here. Pocket queens, raising the call. I make it pretty big, $3,500. I mean, it's fine. It's a little on the big side, but it's not like ridiculous or anything. Ansky folds, and Chris Chun, who is a high stakes, I think he just played cash games, but he might have played tournaments too. Cash game reg called. Pretty good flop for the queen and the queen, and thus I bet. I would like to bet, I'm sure whatever size I pick here is not the right size. I'm sure I bet too much, but let's take a look. Yep, that definitely qualifies. That's too much. Our opponent shoves. Obviously, we have no choice here. Am I worried? I'm a little worried, but nothing we can do. We have 2 queens, jack high board. I re-raise. He just called pre-flop. He could definitely have sets, 2 pair, or something like that. It's possible. He has so many flush draws, like ace jack, that kind of stuff. So can't fold. End up calling. So 45K pot here up for grabs. And as I said, this was 5 years ago, so I was 21 at this point. Oh, he has just 2 aces, but we just rip the old queen of spades ball. He has an overpair and has a backdoor flush draw. We turn the 2-outer, which gives him a flush draw redraw, and hold. High stakes poker. How fun is it? It's too much fun. How do you not love high stakes poker? We get it all in on the flop. 45K. Turn the old 2-outer. Dodge the resuck. And that's it. 45K over to the good guys. I remember this hand also very fondly because it was just like the craziest summer of just like high stakes gambling, and I just didn't care. I just played whatever, whoever, high stakes, 100, 200, 200, 400, even though I was only playing like 25, 50 and lower up to that point. Whatever, it felt like money just came and didn't stop, so what did it matter? Let's play super high stakes. And thankfully I ran pretty okay. So we shipped that over there. Oh yeah. All right, queen and queen again. That's pretty sweet. So this hand is from later in that same summer in July. So there was actually even another hand that I was going to talk about from the same month in July. But apparently July 2008, I just played like super, super high stakes and lost my mind, so to speak. I mean, I don't remember if I won or I lost because I don't have all my hands from then. But I don't even remember this hand. When I saw it, I was like, I had no memory of it. But I don't know if that just shows how ridiculous it was or I don't know what. But so this hand, under the gun raises. It's a player who actually still plays high stakes cash, I believe. K Money K10. I think he still plays poker pretty often these days. We've had a lot of battles over the years. Although I don't know his name or anything off the top of my head. But I just call here with 2 queens, which is absolutely crazy, as deep stacked as we are. But I think I was trying to get something to happen with one of these short stacks behind us. This was back in the days where you could play short stacks like this, as annoying as it was. But so it folds over to Sarah29, who decides to give us the all-in, which you would think is what I was looking for. And K Money K10 re-raises. So, instead of like deciding whether or not I wanted to get all in or fold right here, which makes a little more sense to me, I think, because, I don't know. Folding seems crazy, but calling seems crazy also. And raising seems like probably the most normal thing, unless he's pretty tight. And I don't believe he was that tight back in the day. I'm not sure if he's tight now, but I don't think he was tight back in the day. He was like I remember him being very like normal, aggro-ish. He was like the definition of like standard reggae, but good, of course, but very standard generally speaking. So I thought I was going to see myself either re-raise or fold here, but looks like I took the third route. Let's see 3, dealer. Okay, well, those are not the worst 3 for queen and queen. Our opponent bets, and we call. Yep, I like that play. I think I agree with flop call. Bink! We turn the old queen ball. And our opponent is kind enough to just go all in. Guess what we do, kids? That's right. If you picked call, you're the winner today. $22,000 in the pot. We have the nuts. That's always a good sign. What did we crack? Oh, that's right. Aces, and the other guy had ace queen. That's right. Just a 1-outer for 420-something big blinds. 440 big blinds even, and that's it. Just 1-outer the guy. No big deal or nothing for 22K. I thought that was kind of hilarious when I found that hand because I had no idea that it ever happened like this, and we made it happen. So that was pretty sweet. And then the final hand, another one that I vaguely recalled. This was a match I played in 2010 against a guy at, I think the stakes were 250, 500, 10 game. So I had never played most of the games before. I never played Badoogie before, really, or very, very rarely. And I had some experience playing some of the games, but I actually remember feeling like I had an edge in some, didn't have an edge in others. Like I thought I had an edge in limit hold'em, no limit, PLO, and maybe the 08 and stud high low. And Raz, I thought we were pretty even. Stud, I think he might have been pretty close. and then the draw games, the deuce to sevens, whatever else the rest of the mix was, I felt where he was pretty good at those. So so I felt good in like the traditional horse games and PLO and No Limit. So I felt good in like 7 of the 10, but that's only 7 of the 10. But so this was a hand I played. I raised on the button to 300. We're 200 big blinds deep. He re-raises to 1100, which is pretty normal, I remember, and we call. Now I will also point out. Oh, we'll finish the hand first. So pretty good flop for us. Gut shot 3 straight flush. That's pretty sweet. Our opponent bets 1K. Certainly calling. No other option here. Off to the turn we go. 4, not the best of cards. Our opponent bets 3K. Now, I don't really quite know why I decided to do something here, but I did. Spoiler alert, I don't just fold. So I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. I remember debating. I remember being dubious. And it's hard for me to say, like, I can't exactly construct what I should do here because I don't know the exact dynamic, and I can't even ever go back and look at it really because, maybe I just got run over and stud and now we're playing Hold'em or whatever the game is before Hold'em in that mix. But I don't remember exactly what had happened before this, so I can't speak like perfectly intelligently as to what I should do. But I decided to call, which I think is fine, actually. We beat a lot. We beat every no pair hand. That's pretty cool. We're the king of no pair. Off to the river card we go, dealer. So the river is the old 8-ball. We rivered a flush draw. And our opponent bets $8,000. So I don't believe that there's much that I can talk about here because, this is like so reedy. And it's very possible that I just got, kind of sort of lucky with the result here. Because I didn't believe him. I don't know what to tell you. I thought he just had too many things that were nonsense. He had too many heart draws, straight draws, no pairs. And I really just believed that this guy couldn't have, like... I thought if he had even a hand as good as Ace-King, there was a chance he might slow down at some point. I remember thinking that, which is a big part of this reasoning cauldron, like I thought that was probably true. And if he had Ace-King, he'd probably slow down, so he has to have 2 pair or better. And those things are hard to have. It's very hard to have 2 pair or better. And so I thought about it, and clicked in the old call button there. That's right, boys and girls. King high. That's right. Get out of here with your 10-9 of hearts. That's right. They didn't know this back then, but it was still true. And that's right. We did the old shipperoo with the king and the jack. Now I'll point out that we played a lot actually. This was one of the few guys that I did a lot of battling with in the mixed games. We played for I want to say like 20 hours or something. It wasn't all in a row. We played like 2 or 3 days, pretty consistently at 250, 500, and he ended up winning for sure. I was up a bunch at first, and then he went up a bunch, and then he ended up winning for sure. So even though I made this sick call, I don't want to come off and saying like, oh, I crushed this guy. No, this hand was awesome, and obviously, it could be results. Maybe he's bluffing 1 in 100 times. I happen to be right the 1 in 100 times. I'm not saying nothing, okay? But I am saying this was a lot of fun, and I have very fond memories of this hand as well. King Jack, sure, 8K, whatever, take it. Nope, not taking it. All right, that's right. That's exactly what happened. So. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Oops, sorry. Hope you guys enjoyed that little time warp there. Some fun hands, some fun pots. I miss the days of high stakes poker happening. So much fun. I'm jonesing just having gone through five hands with you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe. Join the Run It Up Legion. We need a good warrior like yourself. The other day I kind of happened across the slogan. It makes a lot of sense. It pays to be a Run It Up warrior. It's true. It does. You watch, you enjoy. Worst case scenario, you just have a good time. Best case scenario, you soak in the poker learnings and head out to the poker tables yourself a little bit sharper, a little bit more able to put people in the cages. I'm just saying, it's true. Cannot deny it. So thanks so much for watching as always, guys. I might stream some over the weekend, not poker but other things, and I'll be back on Monday for more. If you want to follow me on twitch.tv/jcarpoker, that's where I'll be streaming probably, although YouTube I'm leaning towards maybe trying to stream from there as well from time to time, but I'll look into that and get back to you guys. But for now, over on Twitch, don't forget facebook.com/jcarpoker. It's our hub for all things Run It Up. Jason Somerville, go friend me on there or follow me on there if you would like. I'd like to have you. You don't want to come? I'm not going to force anything. It is what it is. Anyway, thanks so much for watching as always, guys. I will see you back for more on Monday. Peace.